Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
The hunt is still on for the federal prisoner who walked away from a Fargo halfway house early Sunday morning. 30-year-old Juan Francisco Martinez was serving a federal sentence for a 2015 conviction of a felon in possession of a firearm. Today, Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley talked with a man who lives near Center Inc., who says he's concerned and hopes security at the rehab house is finally stepped up.
The main concern has not always necessarily been with Center Inc. It's not always necessarily been with people who make a mistake in life.
John Wilson has lived down the block from Center Inc. since the 90s. So while he says Sunday's walk-up wasn't a surprise to him, the details on just who walked away was.
If he's a federal prisoner, he should be under some sort of mandatory in and out system, at the very least. Even if he is deemed a lower risk at some level, there still has to be accountability as to his whereabouts 24/7 until he is no longer a federal convict.
Looking into Martinez's history, between 2008 and 2011 in Clay County, he was charged with terroristic threats, multiple assaults, as well as driving and shooting towards a person. Martinez was federally indicted in January 2015 for possessing a firearm as a felon, and until August was serving his time in a Virginia prison.
This is obviously someone who's still technically in the federal penitentiary system on some level. So how are they allowed to just walk out at 5 o'clock in the morning? Where's the control?
And it was just last summer when Sean Schrader, the man who pled guilty for violently killing a man in Dunseith, North Dakota, also walked away from the halfway house while on federal furlough.
It's like, what kind of program do we have going on here?
Wilson says he wants Center Inc. to have better security on their residents, especially those serving federal sentences.
Why are they coming to our community? And what influence is this having on the community?
He also adds he wishes there weren't as many out-of-staters coming in and out of Center as well, fearing the potential dangers it could cause if they end up staying in the community after their sentence. In downtown Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
We reached out to Center Inc. today. However, they said they're unable to make a comment at this time. New for you now at 5, the 54-year-old man believed to be involved in a downtown Fargo shooting is now charged with attempted murder for allegedly firing his gun at an officer. Police say Henry Aiken was waving a .30 caliber revolver with a green laser outside the entrance of the Radisson Hotel early Friday morning. Fargo police ordered Aiken to drop his gun, but instead they say he pointed his gun with that green laser at officers and then fired several shots. Security camera footage shows Aiken pointing his firearm in several different places at the hotel lobby and police. Aiken will be back in court on December 27th. Nice to walk outside to a mild day, but it sounds like there are some changes on the horizon. Let's find out about tonight's forecast in your No Wait weather. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. As we look out to the horizon, we're enjoying a gorgeous setting sun, but some raindrops are heading our way from the west. Here's a look at that orange sky to the west. A beautiful start to the week. Temperatures in the 40s for many of us here in the south. And as we head through the evening hours, we are expecting, well, those showers to continue to push into the Red River Valley. Notice there's some flakes out to the east of you in Bemidji. Here's some moderate showers moving through Walsh County towards Park River and Grafton now, and also into the western reaches of Grand Forks County. The Southern Valley, just light sprinkles, including the FM area. 38 Grand Forks, 36 this hour in Fargo, with temperatures that will be steady throughout the evening with a northwest breeze. These showers will push through. What is in store for your Tuesday? I'll have hour-by-hour details on what you can expect, Andrea, here in just a few more moments.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Hutch.
You bet.
Police in Bemidji are asking for your help finding a missing 16-year-old girl. Officials say Tori McMurran was last seen around 9:30 last night. She's about 5'6", 160 pounds. She has brown eyes, black hair. She was last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt. If you have any information on her, you're urged to call your local law enforcement. Authorities in Moorhead are still trying to track down the man who they say took off after a high-speed chase. Officers say they tried stopping 29-year-old Stephen Foster for cutting off other cars in South Moorhead last week. However, they say he took off, leading them on a chase that reached 100 miles per hour. Deputies used stop sticks to fix the issue, but say Foster then took off running into a cornfield. He has an active warrant for drug-related activity. Several students showed up to classes at Hillsborough High School today, despite rumors of a shooting threat. The superintendent told us they investigated the shooting threat and didn't find it credible. This morning, there were several Trail County deputy vehicles circling the high school. Students we spoke to had mixed reactions on the threat, some saying it was blown out of proportion.
One parent posted on Facebook and it just blew up and nobody knew anything about it. And they just kept rambling on. People kept making rumors, and I just think that it was blown out of proportion.
I mean, it could be serious, but I'm expecting to come out of this day fine.
The school's superintendent declined speaking on camera, but says high school attendance today was at 91%. The average is 96%. School leaders are breathing a sigh of relief after a scary morning at Lewis and Clark Elementary School in Fargo. Today, administrators there evacuated the school due to unknown odors. Officials with Xcel Energy and Fargo Fire later said the odor was nothing serious, a malfunctioned sump pump in the building. A new sump pump has been installed and fresh water is being flushed through the system. Emergency crews gave administrators the all clear to return to school. It is less than a year away from the next congressional election. Right now, there are only 13 Republican women serving in the U.S. House, the lowest number since 1995. Republicans say they want to change that. Washington Bureau Chief Jacqueline Policastro takes us to Capitol Hill to find out how.
Winning a seat in Congress takes money, endorsements, and advertising. That's why Republicans are investing in candidates like Ashley Hinson.
There are not very many Republican women who serve in Congress right now, and I want to be part of the class that changes that.
Hinson is on Capitol Hill meeting with a network of Republican women. They're connecting her with influential party leaders and briefing her on policy issues.
Having their support means the world, because it means that somebody is advocating for you every day, wanting to make sure that they can do whatever they can to help me get here.
Hear me roar. Part of Hinson's support comes from the first ever super PAC dedicated to electing Republican women, the Winning for Women Action Fund.
America wants to see a Congress that looks and sounds a lot more like them. And oftentimes, a Republican woman will be the best candidate. She just doesn't have access to the right resources to help her get across the finish line.
Winning for Women wants to raise enough cash to elect 20 Republican women in 2020. Part of the strategy, focus on getting candidates like Hinson past the primary, then provide the momentum to win in the general election. Competing PACs run by Democrats are bigger and more powerful. The team at Emily's List says they're preparing candidates for 2020.
Last cycle, we raised and spent a record $110 million, which was hard work. Every dollar still takes work, but we've been around for a while. We know how to do it. We've elected women, and those women then want to go out and help other women run and win.
In 2018, 89 Democratic women were elected to the U.S. House. That's compared to just 13 Republican women elected. Emily's List plans to put money into defending Democratic women currently serving in the U.S. House, like Congresswoman Abby Finkenauer. She's the first ever woman to represent Iowa's 1st congressional district, and the one Hinson ultimately hopes to unseat. Finkenauer declined our request for an interview. So money will continue to funnel in, because both Republicans and Democrats want a woman to win. Reporting on Capitol Hill, I'm Jacqueline Policastro.
Candidate Ashley Hinson will face Republican primary challenger Thomas Hansen in the June 2nd primary election. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz wants public hearings for Republicans and Democrats so they can reach a deal regarding free emergency insulin for patients. The Democratic House and Republican Senate passed proposals last spring to provide emergency supplies of the medication for those who cannot afford it, but a compromise was never reached. Republicans said last month they thought a deal could be reached in 30 days. The holdup continues to center around how the emergency supply will be provided to patients and who will pay for it. Walz says he's optimistic that a deal and special session could happen before the start of 2020. An oil spill from the Keystone Pipeline in eastern North Dakota has affected almost 10 times the amount of land as first reported. State environmental scientist Bill Sees says the leak reported on October 29th is now estimated to have affected about 209,000 square feet of land near Edinburgh. State regulators said the leak affected about 22,500 square feet of land. TC Energy reported the pipeline leaked an estimated 9,100 gallons of oil. SEAS says that estimate has not changed. The cause of the leak has not been determined. Don't forget to join us for the Farmers Union Insurance Bison Football pregame show on Saturday at 1 o'clock. We'll take you right up to kickoff at 2 on the KVLY and KFYR Bison Football Network.